all of the praises to the Most High and His Son, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, and double honors to the Apostles of the Greatmillstone, and salutations to the Yakimal that continue to further this ministry throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom to those even including that are learning and listening as well. And I want to focus on in this lesson, because of the last video that I did, I was speaking on a situation that occurred with two individuals. You had this woman which was married to a billionaire, and she killed this man that was a prominent police officer in Belize. And she could get off scot-free or serve less time if she paid the fine. And this has been going on for as long as we've been born in this society. And I'm talking about Esau escaping from the wrongs that they have done. But in all reality, they haven't really escaped anything. They've just escaped in their own world, which they're ruling right now. But when it comes to the world of the Most High Himself, they haven't escaped. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read Psalms 33. And I want to first read verse 11. And we're going to read all the way down to the point, verse 13. The counsel of the Lord standeth forever, the thoughts of his heart to all generations. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord Yahawah, and the people whom he hath chosen for his own inheritance. So this is the point. The Lord looketh from heaven, and he beholdeth all of the sons of men. So even in this case, there's no escape. There's no escape, Esau. And plus, you have the angels too, which are nothing more than the eyes of the Lord too, gathering information of the good of men and also the evil of men. Okay? That's why it also says that the eyes of the Lord is beholding in every place the good and the evil. So let's go back and read Ecclesiastes 8. And we're going to read verse 11 now. So it says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the hearts of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear the Most High Power, which fear before him. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not the Most High. Because he feareth not before the Most High. And as it says in the book of Job 20, it says that the triumphing of the wicked is short. Because by the looks of it, it looks like Esau's been ruling for a mighty long time, but they actually haven't been ruling that long in comparison to the time of the Most High Himself. So they've lived deliciously, lived in power for a short span of time, and then eventually, as we are approaching the end of that time, then that's going to be the time when the Lord is going to come back, and they're going to have to then reap what they have sown, pursuant to the book of Galatians 6 and 7. For whatever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So right now, Esau is not reaping what he sowed. Right now, the Most High is building a case against their asses. And I want to show you that in the book of Maccabees, or should I say this, 2 Maccabees 6 verse, I believe it's 15. Actually 14. So as it reads, it says, I'll begin and read in verse 13. It says, for it is a token of his great goodness when wicked doers are not suffered any long time, but forthwith punished. For not as with other nations, whom the Lord patiently forbeareth to punish, till they be come to the fullness of their sins, so dealeth he with us. So that right there is showing you that the Lord is letting this particular nation that he put into power build on their sins, and then eventually he will deal with them when it's all said and done. He will take vengeance against them. All right? Until they come to the fullness of their sins, then the Lord will deal with them. And that the Lord will not suffer wickedness any longer. And that's after they get to the end of their time of ruling. And I want to also read the book of Job 14, verse 5. Is it 4? No, 14. So it says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, and thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So when we look up this word determined, as I always like to bring about, the word is karatazar, which means to cut. So there's a cut portion of time for this man to rule, and he won't go beyond that time, not even a millisecond. And then eventually, as I've said and I'll say it again, then these people will have to reap what they have sowed, beginning with the so-called Jews, and as well as those that are regular Edomites. From the greatest to the least of them, they're all going to be having to reap what they have sowed. And for the amount of time that I've been preaching, I mean, I've came across Edomites that have said that they're sorry for what they've done, and they hate the fact that they've actually benefited of the wrongs that they've done against our people. But it really makes no difference, because at the end of the day, it's easy for one to say that they hate for what their forefathers have done when they're living good. They're living nice. They got food in the refrigerator. They got way more than what men in their heart wish for. And they're protected. They're secured. So in that secured space, you can say these things. You can talk shit. You can speak like you're the good guy because you're in that comfortable space to do so. But when you're in the space of the majority of our people, you really can't think straight. You really can't think about what needs to be done, because every day is a constant struggle. All right? You don't have time to think about what's good for you. You just don't have time to think, period. Let me just put it to you that way. Okay? When you're living in very poor, degradable situations where you have to constantly be working, and then you have to come away from your job, and then you're hearing gunshots in the middle of the street, and then you're worrying about what's going on with your cousins or what happened to your uncle or what's going on with your mother, you can't think about yourself. You ain't really got time to be thinking about things for the betterment of your people, period. But these devils, they got time on their hands. They're good. So they can say things like, oh man, what we did was wrong, and try to be all philosophical. But there's gonna come a time where all of that philosophical talk is gonna go from that to them actually having to serve slavery. Okay? They're gonna experience what it means to be in the dirt. So as I've said, and I'll say this again, the Lord is actually building a case against these people, man. That's why the Lord hasn't acted upon these people yet, because he's building a case on them, and prophecies have to be fulfilled, which they will do, especially their powers. So anyway, let's move forward, and we're going to get the book of Jeremiah 12, verse 3. So it says, but thou, O Lord, Yahweh, knowest me. Thou hast seen me and tried mine heart towards thee. Pull them out. Let's go up a verse so we can get the understanding. So it says, this is the verse that I should have read. Righteous art thou, O Lord Yahweh, when I plead with thee. Yet let me talk with thee of thy judgments. Wherefore doeth the way of the wicked prosper? Wherefore are all they happy that deal very treacherously? Thou hast planted them, yea, they have taken root, and they grow, Yea, they bring forth fruit, and thou art near in their mouth, and far from their reins. But thou, O Lord, knowest me. Thou hast seen me, and tried mine heart towards thee. Pull them out like sheep for the slaughter, and prepare them for the day of slaughter. And that's what the Lord will do. Excuse me. So anyway, it says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which has been planted. Exactly. So the Lord is going to pluck up that which he planted, which he formulated this power construct to go on for a short span of time. All right. And once that short span of time has ended, the time of their rulership, then the Lord is going to deal with them according to as it is written. In many scriptures I can pull out, and many scriptures that we have been pulling out in the past. This is how the Lord is going to deal with these people. So let's get the book of Job 20 verse 4. We're going to read a scripture that I quoted earlier. Job 20 verse 4 says, Knowest thou not of this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. And the ultimate wicked one is the so-called white people, which the real nationality is that of Edom. They are the biblical Edomites. That's what they should be going by, not calling themselves white, because there's nothing white about them. They are the red people of the earth. Malachi 1 verse 3. Let's begin there. And I hated Esau. You know what? Let's read the first verse, shall we? It says, The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet you say, Wherein hast thou loved us? And was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I love Jacob. And I mean, by the ways of it, again, from a carnal man's perspective, it looks like the Lord hates us instead, because, I mean, we're going through hell. All of the tribes of Israel are going through hell in many different ways. So by the looks of it, it looks like the Lord hates us instead and loves Esau, because if we would actually see how Esau lives, including, they live a very nice, comfortable life. They're not being racially discriminated against. They're just comfortable, living the way that they're living. So it looks like the Lord is in favor of Esau rather than his own people, but that's not the case. The Lord loves us, and yet he hates Esau and his descendants. Now we're going to read Malachi 1 verse 3 to verse 4. And I hated Esau and laid his mountain and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, We are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, and they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. And as you read the book of Romans, the 9th chapter, and I believe it's in verse 17. Yeah, it's verse 21. So anyway, let's read we'll begin reading verse 18. Therefore have he have mercy on whom he have mercy, and whom he will he hardeneth. Thou wilt say then unto me, Why doeth he yet find fault? For who have resisted his will? Nay, which means no. But, O man, thou art thou that replies against the Most High. Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, Why hast thou made me thus? Have not the potter power over the clay? Of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? So, no one of us can say, Why did the Lord make me this way or that way? The Lord can do whatever the hell he wants. He's the creator, and also he's the director of this thing that we called life, and we're playing his character. Okay? Each and every last one of us are characters that are playing in this thing called life. This is the Most High's story, so to speak, that we're all playing. We all have a part to play. And the part of Esau is to be the wicked. And he can't question the Most High and say, well, why did he make me this way? And we can't say, why did the Most High just make us righteous? Why couldn't the Lord make everybody righteous? Well, he didn't want to make everybody righteous. You know, he's the father of all of us put together, which the term father means origin. So he's the origin of all of us and his creation. So his creation cannot come up against him and what he does, whether it's good or bad. Who the hell are we to do such a thing anyway? So let's read on. It says, have not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? What if the Most High, willing to show his wrath and make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction? That's what he will do unto the people that are set up for his indignation forever. Malachi 1 and 4 tells you it's the Edomites. So as I say, right now as it stands, from a carnal man's perspective, it looks like they're just getting away all of the time for the wrongs that they do. But they actually haven't gotten away. Eventually the Lord is going to show them what they've dished out. And boy, oh boy, man, when the Lord judges these people, like the Apostle Har said, we ought to be thankful that we're not Edomites. Because what's coming down the pike onto these Edomites, man, it's just not going to be good. I can't put it into words. All I can say is simply, is just that it's not going to be good. Shalom.